a banger. And speaking of going from the octagon to the ring, our first fight is going to be featuring two ESFL vets from the octagon from the UFC side going to the first contest, and it's going to be Bone Doing Work versus Word Life. And you can see the choices that we see here in the pre-screen: Josh Taylor versus Amir Khan. When you think about these two vets, what do you think of when it comes to the first ever fight in the Undisputed season?
I know Amir Khan is pretty new. He's got a little bit of a sussy chin, but he's got a 92 jab. My boy Feke was telling me in the back when we had our pre-meeting, so watch out for that power jab. But Word Life is somebody that always had really good striking in UFC games, so I know he's going to transition very well. I can't wait to see his strategy. But Bone Doing Work also an ESFL veteran, Kingsley. So both these guys with that Josh Taylor pick, I don't know too much about Josh Taylor. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about this guy.
Oh man, Josh Taylor. I mean, when you see his body of work, you can expect all around boxer when his
Ooh.
situation. Especially with Bone Doing Work, we see him in the exhibition cards coming off his last performance. He's very excited to showcase himself. You know that his last performance he won in the last boxing game. He's been showing and shining in MMA, but he wants to never stop focusing on his boxing. So we're going to try to see what he has to Josh Taylor. He's going to try to implement that in this situation. I mean, you're in the first fight of the Undisputed season. You're in the first fight in ESFL history in the Undisputed season. So only big happy. Amir Khan, as you said, the jabs, 92 rating jab that he has right there. There's a lot of stipulations that you have in the ESFL rule book, but unfortunately,
fight. And are we going to fight number one that we were going to watch earlier? And they're okay, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Word Life versus Bone Doing Work. Get to see this one, Kingsley. Let's go. Let's kick it off.
So yeah, we're just doing a little bit of time travel. We're reversing the clock a little bit. What you seen was the first fight, but now we're going to the actual first fight as Bone Doing Work and World Life are both in the fire selection screen. Again, Josh Taylor and Amir Khan for both of their selected fighters. We saw in the first fight that a lot of things could change. Do you want to put a lot of stock in the first couple of rounds? So you want to build up a lead to make sure you had the later rounds to try to survive? Or do you want to play out a strategy where you play as a marathon? We'll have to see. We saw a little bit of a tidbit in that first fight. Will we see the same consistency going to the second fight of Bone Doing Work versus Word Life?
Yeah, this is going to be a really exciting fight. You don't want to miss this one, guys. This is at the beginning of the card, but these two are super talented, and I'm very curious to see how Word Life performs because he's always been a really good boxer in UFC games. So I know he's going to bring the heat, and he's going to give you a treat, and he's going to get Kingsley on his feet.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see. I'll probably lose my voice. I'm waiting for a moment where I lose my voice because we're in a big arena right here in the screen as we see. But again, make sure you leave your predictions. Who do you think is going to win this fight? Also, we have the knockout bonus, the fight night bonus. All those things are coming ahead later in the night. But again, Bone Doing Work. We're like, they're known to put on exciting fights in the UFC side. They know what to do in the big spotlight of the ESFL. We'll have to see. In the big arena, you can't go any wrong with this, Rob. It's going to be such a big showing for both of these guys.
Yes, it is. There's Josh Taylor from Scotland, I believe.
Yes. Bonus points.
Here we go. Bonus bucks, baby. Let's go. I'm buying something cool after this show. And here comes Amir Khan, newer pick. Watch the chin, though, huh? Watch the chin.
Yeah, you got to watch out. You can't take as much damage as you saw in the first fight with the heavyweights. Amir Khan being used by Word Live in the blue corner, while Josh Taylor is being used by Bone Doing Work in the red corner. And right now, we're seeing a nice little counters, little combinations coming in, a little bit of faster speed for what we saw from the heavyweight division. And so far, Bone Doing Work taking his time, trying to goad his opponent, trying to work that jab a little bit, trying to land the hooks. But phone fighting wise, Amir Khan, he can't afford to use these trades. A nice uppercut landing. Bone Doing Work getting advantage of these early on striking situations right here, Rob.
Couple good shots there by Bone Doing Work, and you're seeing Word Life immediately as the fight started. He took the center of the ring, and he's kind of just waiting there, just chilling, relaxing. And you got to be careful with your Bone Doing Work. I think he's a little bit too active in the 10-round fight early, throwing a lot of same arm punches. Oh, look at that left hook, though, by Word Life. Checks him.
Absolutely vicious for Amir Khan. We know he has lightning power in his hands, but again, when he goes for these trades, he needs to be very careful. He needs to be defensively sound. It gets some strikes like that with a power left hook that will answer really well against Bone Doing Work. But now, what is Bone Doing Work going to do? He's taking the center of the ring. He wants to make sure. Good whipping around. It seems like we're going to find someone trying to make a little bit of a mistake right there, Rob.
Looking like the Matrix in there. I mean, they're both moving so good, moving and grooving. And the left power shots. I mean, these two are standing toe to toe, and they're just using their head movement, and they're just trading big punches. So far in this first, another left hook. Word Life is money with those left hooks, Kingsley.
He is connecting cleanly against the block. Oh, but a turnabout is fair play. I think we're just going out for a fight. No Sam Gang going for Bone doing work, using a bunch of his power shots to go back into it. And already we're getting towards the end of the first round right there. If this first round is going to be any indication, I don't think we're even going to see 10 rounds of this whole contest here, Rob.
I don't know. I don't think so either. I mean, so many big hooks being thrown out. Bone doing work needs to be careful throwing the same side because that's really gassing him out. And Word Life is a sniper, and he will put you out with Amir Khan. That left hook has been so good for him. Oh, man, beautiful striking early in round number 2 here, Kingsley. Word Life is starting to heat up a bit.
Yeah, heat up and along with the distance, trying to find the range. So far, we saw a lot of movement in the first fight. We're not seeing any movement. Both guys are just staring at each other and saying, you know what, I'm going to avoid your strikes and trying to hit you as much as I can. And so far, it's working really well for both of these competitors. But Bones of Work able to get a nice right hook. Oh, but it answers back from Word Life. Word Life doing such a nice job to stand in the pocket, find a way to see his opponent and get some nice combinations, but this is where it's going to be. Who could go tit for tat and attack the body, along with going for the head, but a nice avoidance from Bone doing work, knowing that he needs to circle around, stay in the center of the ring. I keep on trying to say octagon, but it's in the center of the ring. Both these guys are treating it like it's a mixed martial arts fight right here, Rob.
My goodness, and look at the heart rate. I mean, it's like 122 bouncing on 125. The adrenaline is flowing right now for Bone doing work. Word Life looks a little bit more stationary. It seems like he's a little bit more calm with his cardio, but this fight is so high-paced, Kingsley.
Yeah, so far you can see the stamina again lower and lower for Bone to work. We'll have to assume the same for Word Life, but Word Life able to take some strikes onto his opponent, but so far a little bit of back and forth. It's like Bone to work. You can have these strikes right here, but I'm gonna come back. But now we're just going back and forth here, Rob.
Couple big punches from Bone doing work. He's throwing those hooks. His Word Life's coming in, another one. And Word Life's starting to get damaged here, but he's got the Mexican style. He's just coming forward with the block up, and he's just like daring him to hit him.
Oh my goodness, we're seeing nothing. We're seeing nothing being wasted. Both guys are saying, well, let's meet in the center. Let's just box. Let's see who could get the benefit of the doubt from the judges. But with 10 seconds left, you heard the clapper going in, signaling towards the end of the second round right here. So far, it seems like the hooks are landing very nicely as we see Word Life just going crazy. Even after the bell and Bone don't work, has to go in this corner and try to recuperate from that.
Neither of these competitors seem to be scared to throw down with the other man standing right in front of them. A lot of hooks being landed, a lot of bombs being thrown, and somehow, some way, both these guys still up and able. Round number 3, here we go, and back to it again in the phone booth, just exchanging.
Just a constant heartbeat. You know, you get a little bit of love moments, but you see just strikes happening like a freaking roller coaster. Both guys just attacking the head so cleanly. So far, just, a nice body shot from Word Life, able to get the distance, saw his opponent coming in, and able to answer back. But a combination is a nice counter from Bone Don't Work, entering back. So far, the hooks been the move of the night so far for both these competitors. And when they're so close like this, it's all about who can take the advantage, who can land the more combinations. As you see, Word Life gets the rock. He has opponent into the corner. He's not going forward. He knows that he still has time, but that's a huge benefit for Word Life.
Beautiful moment there for Word Life. And he's being patient, just stalking his opponent. Another left hook lands clean. And Word Life looks a little tired here, but still standing his ground right in the face. Kingsley trying to find the rhythm, trying to find the knockout. And Josh Taylor still throwing back.
Call him Bone Crusher because he is never scared of the moment. He is never scared of the strikes right here. Both guys soon going full throttle under 1 minute of the third freaking round. And I don't even think we're going to see a 5th round by the way these guys are going after it. We see Word Life. He's going forward. He's trying to go for these power strikes, going for the power hooks, able to land an uppercut right there, but Bone doing work. Even though he's losing a lot of stamina, putting a lot of capital, and he strikes, able to land 2 combinations left. We're going straight into it, Rob.
Big shots by Bone doing work there. Man, Bone still not out of this yet. Word Life finding his rhythm, though. Trying to just chill out a little bit, regain himself a bit. I mean, those are some big shots. Big left hook as well. Bombs, baby.
perfect range to connect with the power hooks and power connections. And with the predictions, we see 2 rounds go to Warlife for the first and second round. But it seems like Bone didn't work. Got the benefit of the 3rd round right there. But we'll have to see what the other judges have to think, but that's so far what we see. But look at that block you see on the bottom bottom left corner, of Bone didn't work. It was in the red, so even though he's blocking, he needs to be very careful because those strikes will leak in if that block is super low. Oh, but the power shots to the body for Bone didn't work will actually help him out in this ongoing round.
It will, and Warlife's doing a good job of using his movement to cut off his opponent. Not chasing him, but cutting him off pretty well. And you're seeing Bone just trying to use his footwork just to get out of there, but he's not afraid to stand his ground, stationary punches. He is winging shots at Warlife like that. Right there, tags him with the left hook. Good job. Bone doing work is still lethal and gangster out here, but Warlife, I think, is just fighting amazing in this 4th round.
Yeah, Warlife able to answer back, got a nice trade, and able to land nicely with a left hook. Now, here we go. When we're going to the phone booth right here, who's going to get the bounce in? Oh, and a 10-bar! He is falling down as Bone doing work hits the canvas. Warlife back into his corner. We'll have to see if it gets right up, and he does. The first knockdown of the ESFL Undisputed season goes to Warlife right here, Rob.
Yes, it does. And we know if you get a win by knockout, you get an extra point for your season. 2 points for a win, 1 extra point for a knockout. So this is huge. Warlife smells blood. He's standing right in the front of Bone doing work. And Bone still just throwing back at him, Kingsley.
Yeah, he's throwing back. He's saying, like, call the ambulance, but not for me. He is ready to still strike against his opponent, but this is where he needs to watch out. Every time he's in the phone booth right here, it seems like Warlife is getting more and more combinations out and hitting nicely. But oh, with the strikes landing so nicely for Bone doing work, that's going to land very nicely. Oh, the vicious strike. Oh, but the trades work well for Warlife. Warlife can't finish it as it gets saved by the bell. Call him Zach Morris, but into the 5th round right here, Warlife is on a momentum high right here, Rob.
He really is. He's found his mark. He's landing some devastating damage on Bone doing work. Twice now he's had him on skates. Already has knocked him down, and now Bone doing work really needs to be careful, not taking too much damage. He needs to minus P's and Q's because this 5th and final round, I think Warlife's going to try to put him down.
Yeah, and this is and also like a very interesting note that we really didn't talk about. This is the Orthodox versus Southpaw fighter. Both guys at the same side, so it kind of changes up the kind of the strategy going to this fight for both competitors. But so far, Warlife able to use it very well, very nicely to his benefit while Bone doing work. Taking his time, trying to get the right distance because he knows if he goes into a trade, it's not going to work out for him. His head is already damaged from all these combinations. So every time he goes in, he needs to go in, hit a couple strikes, to go all the way up, back out, and hit these combinations.
I'm loving this fight. I'm loving the exchanges here inside of the pocket. But neither guy is really afraid to throw, and it just seems like Warlife is a little bit more on top of his defense. He kind of waits for the right moment. Oh man, look at these left hooks. There's Bone doing work with the return. Backs up a little bit. That's good work from Bone because he doesn't want to get tagged and put down again.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get tagged, but also he needs to watch out for his block. His block is going to be super low. Oh, but the combinations, you saw a 1-2, a little bit of a hook and an uppercut landing. This is what Warlife, he is in his flow state. Every time he goes into that pocket, he knows exactly what he needs to do. Bone to work, trying to answer back, trying to find that right range, that distance where he could not get hit with those trades, but also land his combinations. But so far, he hasn't been able to find the right thing. Oh, but a power right hook from Warlife will change everything from the equation.
Yeah, it will. And Warlife just looks a little bit smooth here. He looks like he's got his composure. He's being very cool, calm, and collected in this 5th round, and it looks like he's got Bone's number. He's downloaded the game plan, and a couple big late shots at the end there. And what a round, what a performance so far by Warlife. But you can't take away Bone doing work's effort. I mean, he's throwing punches. He's not afraid to exchange in the pocket. It just seems like Warlife is a little too talented here.
Bone doing work, pulling on his biggest Braveheart impression inside the ring, knowing that he's against an army of punches, needs to find his way back to the promised land. But Warlife hitting the center of the ring, going for a nice uppercut right there, landing. And this is where he wants to be. He says, if you want to come in, you're going to get hit with these hands. And it's working so well for Warlife. Warlife taking the advantage. It seems like he's very comfortable in this pocket, in these spaces right here. As he gets another rock, he's getting close. He sees his opponent on the ropes, but not able to go forward in. Just go for a hook, but not really fully connecting. But again, another rock, the third rock of the fight right here, Rob.
The third rock of the fight, and Word Life is all over him, the Tasmanian devil himself. And Word Life is just finding these openings in the pocket when Josh Taylor is not expecting him. The block counters, the perfect precision on his hook. Word Life is just finding his mark so nicely, and you're seeing Bone doing work, really throwing a lot volume, but just not as accurate.
Yeah, and that's the main thing, right? He's able to connect, but not fully cleanly. We know that Amar Khan, he doesn't have like the best chin in the game, but so far he hasn't been rocked. He hasn't been knocked down at all. He's still taking these punches and working so well, and with power punches to the body, he's trying to get his body to crumble down as much as he can. But every time he goes in these trades, Word Life has the benefit of the doubt because he's not really at risk, because he's getting these combinations working really well. But Bones don't work. Still landing with the straights. Still landing with the hooks. Oh, but what a power shot right here. Bones don't work trying to capitalize. Hits a nice body trying to drain that stamina a little bit. But with 20 seconds, Bones don't work still has a lot of work to do.
And oh man, a lot of good punches here from Bone doing work, but Word Life always has his hands up. They're always pretty well defended when he's taking shots, never just getting openly chin checked. But a nice little ending to that round from Bone doing work, finding his mark again. A left hook lands as they go back to their Stools Kings. We got to fight.
Yeah, we absolutely do have a fight. We saw Bone doing work, getting hurt, and you can see Word Life still has the benefit 58 to 55 in the Compute Box prediction scorecards. But we'll have to see what the other judges have to think about what Bones and Work has been doing so far. So far, he's getting the body shots. He's getting the combinations he wants. It's just these trades. He can't afford to have these crazy trades where Word Life is able to get these combinations. But the distance right there, you saw a little bit, just like a little bit of a half step away from his opponent, able to connect with his opponent's head. But we'll have to see. Bones will work with a double jab. This is what he kind of needs to do. Double jab, find his way out, and land a nice power hook to his opponent.
Yeah, I would agree. Stay away from Word Life's hooks. Stay away from that pocket. I think you see a lot of shots being missed. The timing on Word Life a little off there, and it's the footwork from Josh Taylor. He's bouncing in, he's bouncing out, like you said, and he's doing a good job at not getting hit this round.
Yeah, so far so good. But Word Life taking his time, knowing that he has the benefit of the scorecards and the benefit of possibly his health of his head, affording these trades. Going to attack the body a little bit more than going for the head, because I think Bone doing work, trying to protect the head as much as he can. He knows he can't afford another rock to his head, so he's going to be blocking that entirely. But with 1 minute to go, Word Life kind of taking his foot off the gas a little bit, trying to pinpoint his opponent, trying to open up his opponent, just like we saw right there. A nice little 1-2 to the head, going to the body.
Yeah, Word Life is just slowing the pace down, like LeBron James in the Lakers game finals. Well, not this year, but in the previous years, he's just
2020.
Yeah,
we don't talk
2020
about
LeBron. Yeah, he kind of realized he's up. He knows he doesn't have to rush anything. He doesn't need to, in those last couple of rounds, he was getting hit a couple times. So now he's being very defensive, and he's just gonna find his opening, find his mark, and laser beam, special beam cannon, Piccolo style. Let's go.
Yeah, and you can see Bone doing work, trying to do his best Jimmy Butler impression, trying to take his team from the brink of defeat, trying to come back up. But so far, with the end of the 7th round, going to the 8th round right here, Word Life, he's still in control. But look at that health and the stamina for Bone doing work. 37% for his health, 48% for his stamina. He needs to do a lot more work, but with the limited amount of tools and timing he has, he needs to find a way to create a miracle.
He really does. He really does. And the effort is there. He's definitely trying his best to find a way to crack the code. And there's a Rubik's Cube play right there. I mean, a nice banger of a left hand lands on Word Life, but Word Life, his defense is just too strong.
Yeah, too strong. And look at the distance, trying to go for these big hooks, but not really in range. Every time Bone doing work wants to go for his strikes, he needs to find a way to enter in and just escape with his life intact. Well, Word Life taking his time with 2 minutes left, getting the combinations, getting able to get the straights that he wants. But right now, trying to find a way to duck away, trying to take a little bit of a lunge back and then go into his combinations. But right now, trying to go for a left hook right there, not really connecting, but this is where he wants to be. In the pocket, going for these combinations.
Ooh, a swing and a miss, a big looping left from Word Life, and Word Life looks like he's increasing the range and the distance of his attack. He's launching these missiles with Amir Khan. Another left hand connects again, backs up. Bone doing work. Bone just staying on his bicycle, trying to find a way out of the danger zone. And ooh, couple good jabs there, baby. Couple good jabs there.
Yeah, you know, he's going to fight to his heart content because he knows a maximum 3 points are on the line. 2 points if you win the fight, but 3 points if you get to knock out that extra point. It's going to be very key for going for the top 8 to go into the playoffs. And Warlife, he's on a mission with 30 seconds left, able to get the nice strikes, but a nice counter from Bone to work with a no Sam gain on his back. So far, he needs to be a little bit of outside fire, but going back in the combinations, able to land a left hook. But with 8 seconds left, this is where it gets a little bit scary. You can't avoid to get hit anymore. And I think we're just going to take it to the 9th round.
Round number 8, the heart on Josh Taylor, aka Bone doing work, cannot be questioned here. I mean, this is just unbelievable. He's standing there with no gas in the tank, throwing these punches and connecting with Wordlife, but Wordlife just waiting for his opportunity. And I think in round number 9 and maybe round number 10, we're gonna see a vicious KO from the player Wordlife.
Yeah, and I think we saw a little bit of indicator that the doctor is looking over the cuts. Oh, Bone don't work. So Bone don't work. He needs to avoid these strikes because the doctor might step in for a doctor stoppage if it keeps on getting worse. But so far, we're like staying in the pocket, gets a nice left hook from his starting punches. But so far, uppercuts landing, just circling his opponent, just creeping in a little bit more. With 2 minutes to go, Bone don't work, trying to do as much as he can. But again, 3 strikes already depletes his stamina bar, which means he can't even follow up. So it's his body to the head. That is venomous there, Rob.
Big shots by Wordlife. The body hook, the left hook. I mean, these are power shots, and Bone doing work is breathing. His gas tank is empty. And Wordlife has some power in his punches still, and he is throwing with some heat here, Kingsley, to end our round number 9. We still have a minute, though, left.
God, yeah, and if your Bones didn't work, that timer needs to go a little bit faster because with 1 minute to go, there's a lot of time for Warlife to bring it to basic thugonomics and bring his opponent down with an attitude adjustment. But we'll have to see Warlife still fighting into the pocket. Bones didn't work. Applies it. Hold the phone. Flip the script a little bit. Bones didn't work. Trying to go for the freedom of a victory. Oh, but he can't close the distance. He's trying to close in, but he doesn't have enough stamina. That was so close with 20 seconds left. Who is going to take this round? This is uppercuts landing. Warlife got a little bit of a scare right there. This is going to be really scary. Both guys going for it.
You saw a huge momentum shift with that left
of
the hand from Bone doing work. And they are just throwing with the most sluggish punches you ever seen. But my goodness, call him the comeback kid. Bone doing work somehow takes.
Oh my God, his side.
We are in a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where we are tied to the last final round, and that's what you like to see in the Esports Fight League. Let's go!
Business has just picked up. It is all tied. Bone doing work, fighting with all his might to bring it back, to run it back. With the hooks. Warlife kind of just shocked at the developments right here. Warlife needs to put it on his opponent. Took too many times, maybe took his foot off the gas in the last couple of rounds, but both smelling blood in the water, moving forward, trying to find a way to get his hooks in, but with 2 minutes left, we'll have to see who's going to point fight, who is going to go for a knockout. Again, a maximum 3 points going into this contest round. I am so excited to see what we're going to see.
And both guys are so exhausted right now. You got to give kudos to Bone doing work. The relentlessness throughout the fight to throw even when he was low on stamina, even though when he was out of gas, and still standing his ground, throwing these labored punches on the face of Wordlife. But Wordlife plodding forward with his block up, trying to get back the momentum which he lost in that last round.
And the craziest thing, Rob, Warlife had a freaking knockdown, which would have made it a 10-8 round. So this is huge that it's all tied up with 1 minute to go. Bone doing work, able to get rocked 3 times. Got knocked down. He is fighting. He is throwing these hooks into the phone book. But Warlife coming back in. We're just trading now. We're just trading in the pocket with 35 seconds left. Here we go. Bone doing work. Warlife taking their time, trying to find an opening, trying to gain the distance. Both guys trying to find their way. 25 seconds left. Getting closer and closer. Both guys still fighting. Not able to get a rock. Bone doing work barely has any stamina. 10 seconds here out. Who's going to take it?
I don't know, but they are both completely out of gas, and Bone doing work. He's throwing more punches. Word Life is kind of holding him back a little bit, and right to the ending bell, they are letting it fly.
Who takes a
Oh!
takes it back? The comeback of the regular season. Bone doing work. Down 3 rounds, down 2 rounds, knocked down. Rock 3 times, able to run it back, take it back, and get the first victory. In a split decision. All 3 rounds just gave him the final round. One judge, the second judge, gave Word Life the 9th round. Very interesting to see the scorecards right there.
Yeah, I would have to say so. You know, you thought early in that fight that Word Life was just so patient. He just was a step ahead of Bone doing work throughout those first 5 rounds. And round number 4 was the pinnacle of his performance, 8-10 with that knockdown. And you thought, oh man, this is not gonna go well for Bone doing work. But Bone doing work, Kingsley, he would just stand his ground and he would just throw these punches over and over again. The relentlessness, the bravery, the unwillingness to lose. You smelt it, you felt it in there, Kingsley. And that is a big win over a very highly touted opponent in Word Life for Bone doing work. I mean, what a fight here in fight number 2.
Just let me tell you, guys, if you don't understand what just happened, this guy was knocked down 3 times. I mean, not knocked down 1 time, rocked 3 times, barely had any stamina, but he kept on fighting. Again, I said Braveheart, but my God, he pulled one hell of a Braveheart, and that gave him 2 crazy points in the start of this regular season. Again, that's a big point, especially in that kind of situation to make the playoffs. Interesting to see what Word Life does in his next couple fights, because we heard from Bones and Work before this event. He was coming off his last performance where he got a victory. He was ready to showcase himself. He was very excited, and he says his boxing talent, that would be his key talent. He wanted to do something big, and he absolutely did. I mean, that might be a contender for fight tonight. We'll have to see. I know the people
no doubt,
were super excited to see what happened there. But again, we still have 5 more fights to go. You thought those first 2 fights were crazy? Guess what? We still got 5 more to go. And speaking of which, our third one is about ready to go. This is one that's very interesting to see. We don't really have any notes, but King Diaz going against Roizen in the, I don't know which division is. I think it's a middleweight division. How excited are you to see 2 kind of unknowns going into this contest and making their big name after the fights we just seen here, Rob?
I love a good Nigel Benn pick. He is a devastating power puncher. He's tough as nails, and he's someone I love to watch. I don't know too much about Joe Calzaghe, but you know, I'm about to find out. And you're seeing these records here. These 2. I mean, that last fight got me feeling pretty